This is a very, very unique breakdown. Number one is you're going to get to see suspect perspective. And what I mean by that is you're going to see the suspect inside of a convenience store right before an officer involved shooting. The second reason is obviously you're going to get to see the body cam footage of the officers involved in this shooting that occurs at the convenience store. But number three, you're actually going to see officers intervene when he sees an officer maybe getting ready to go overboard on a suspect. It's a lot to break down, but let's get into it. So briefly, officers respond to this convenience store. As they get there, they encounter the suspect of the shooting. But what I want to do first is I want to show you the surveillance footage inside the store as those officers pull up on scene. So the suspect in this video, he's going to be the one not at the cash wrap, but he's the one behind him. He's messing with the backpack. So that's our suspect. That's the person that we want to key into. So as he opens the door, he's basically talking to the police on scene. He's saying, who, me? Like, you guys are looking for me. So that's why he's opening the door and he's talking to police on the other side, outside that door. Let's continue to watch.
Hey, show your hands! Show your hands right now! Show your hands right now! Show your hands! Show your hands right now! Let me see your hands! Let me see your hands! Put your hands up now!
So I'm going to pause it there. That's the type of rifle that the suspect is using to shoot at these officers. Now, these officers don't know what they're encountering, who they're encountering, but they do believe they have their suspect of the shooting inside this store. And now they find themselves in the middle of a gun battle. This is a scary moment, and the reason why this is so scary, this is a suspect's perspective. We actually have live footage now inside a convenience store as this is taking place. The officers on the other side of this door and window, they have no idea where this guy is at, what he has in his hands. All they know is that there's somebody inside this convenience store trying to kill cops at this moment in time. That's a very, very scary frame of mind for the officers outside because you don't know where he's at. You don't know where he's moving. You don't know if he's trying to set up an ambush. So it's a very, very unique perspective for us to actually see from the suspect's angle as to what he's actually maybe thinking and to what he's actually doing inside that convenience store. One of the things to keep in mind is the officers aren't just errantly firing into this place because they're accountable for every bullet. So the officers still don't know who else is in this store. They don't know if he's the only person or they don't know if people were able to escape. So that's why you don't see them errantly firing into this place trying to stop the threat. They're only firing when they can actually see him.
Come on, bitch!
Can you notice how close this officer is to the suspect on the ground? I mean, only thing he has in between the suspect on the ground is that car. Very dangerous spot for that officer to be. So I'm going to fast forward now to the officer body cam of what they saw from their perspective as they arrived on scene.
Come here. Come here. Yep, you come here. He's dropping the gun, dropping the bag, dropping the bag. Hey, show me your hands! Show me your hands right now! Show me your hands right now! Show me your hands! Show me your hands right now! Let me see your hands! Let me see your hands! Put your hands up now! Shots fired! Shots fired! Shots fired! Shots fired!
Now, we had the fortunate vantage point of looking at the surveillance, and you could see what the suspect was doing as he was removing that rifle from the bag. But clearly, from the vantage point of the officers at this point in the video, they can't see what this suspect is doing over on the other side of the store.
Where'd he got him? Where'd he got him? Where'd he got him? 10-17. Shots fired. Shots fired. 10-17. Not him, not him, not him.
Did you guys catch that? Now, they had somebody run out of the store. Now, great job by the officers to recognize that and pick that up. The officer says, not him, not him, not him. If that guy would have ran out and shot that, innocent bystander, that could have been a bad situation, because now they're dealing with an innocent bystander who's shot and they still got to worry about a suspect inside the store. So great pickup by that officer.
Transfer!
So the suspect runs out shooting at the officers. The officers respond to that threat. Very dangerous scenario at this point in time for the officers, because you have officers all over the place. Suspects running out, still firing at the officers, but they're able to get him down to the ground. Before I show you guys how they take him into custody, I want you guys to keep something in mind, which I've mentioned before. Although officers are held to a higher standard, although officers should maintain professionalism at all time, we officers are human beings. So imagine you, the officer in this scenario, you have just been shot at by this suspect. Now, if you guys have families, a wife, a husband, kids at home, think about how that makes you feel. I've talked to officers who have been shot at or shot by a suspect, and they have told me about all the rage they experience, because in their mind, they're like, somebody, this coward literally just tried to take my life. Now, I want you to think about that perspective as you see how these officers take this person into custody. And there's one key officer that I want to highlight as we watch it.
Keep your hands up! Don't fucking move! Keep your hands up! I'm shot! I'm shot! I'm dead! My stomach shot!
Hey, get him over!
I'm bleeding in my shot!
Hey!
He shot me in my stomach! Stop bleeding!
Stop!
He shot me in my stomach! He shot me in my stomach!
Stop! Back up! Get him close, see? Back up! Get him cuffed!
Now, I don't know if you guys caught that. Now, whoever's body camera watching, phenomenal job. I will say from the very beginning, his command presence, his communication, he's giving people directions, he's telling people where to stand, he's getting back to the car. Phenomenal job. But even more impressive that I want to highlight, he sees one of his partners that, they're code black right now. Like, they're blacking out. Like, they start punching this guy in his face as they're trying to take him into custody. And like I've told you before, is once a person is no longer a threat, they're no longer a threat. We can't just keep utilizing force. And so you have multiple officers on this guy trying to take him into custody. You have one officer that's punching him. Now, I'm not judging that officer simply because, again, I put myself in a scenario and I can see how I would be so upset that somebody literally tried to cowardly take my life. And so the officer whose body camera watching, he sees it and he pulls him off and says, hey, over here, and gets him off, preventing him from going any further. So I don't want you guys to watch this video and say, shame on that officer for trying to punch this guy, because we have to remember the human element to any interaction that we have with law enforcement. But what I do want to do is I want to praise the actions of this officer, recognizing it and removing him, still allowing the other officers to take him into custody. And that, my friends, is evidence that policing is changing. That right there is evidence that law enforcement in 2024 is nowhere near where it used to be in 1984. I'm just throwing that number out there. I had somebody last week try to say, it's still the same old system. It's not. Law enforcement is taking major strides to improving. Can we get better? We absolutely can get better. But this right here is evidence that we are moving forward in the right direction when you have officers that are willing to take somebody off when they see their brother or sister maybe slipping a little bit. So great job to this department. And if you ask me, I'm going to tell you right now, I don't think this is a fireable offense. So nobody should be coming out and saying, hey, that officer should be fired for for doing this and doing that. You got to realize, put yourself in the shoes of this officer whose life was almost taken or could have been taken after this guy so cowardly tried to kill these cops when they responded to take him into custody. What do you guys think in the comment section below?